Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Mel. I grew up playing outside.
And I grew up doing something meaningful, watching movies and TV.
I never had cable, and we finally bought a VCR about the same time DVD players hit the market.
Throughout our marriage, Mel has sadly missed many of my pop culture references and movie quotes.
So it's time to catch up on all the films I missed.
Hello there.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great.
I'm not gonna lie. One of these days, I'm waiting for you to not be a Stepford wife and say, you know what? I'm not having the greatest day in the world. But today's not that day, apparently.
It's not. I really had a truly great day.
Oh, well, that's great to hear.
Pottery show, and the popcorn's made. I'm ready for a movie.
You ready for a movie?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, do you know what we're watching this week?
I have no idea. All I know is that the kids are in on it this week.
They are.
So, not rated R.
So you think. Is tonight the night?
I'm sure it's not
It's
the night.
not the night, no. So no, you don't know nothing, right?
Zip.
All right. We are watching Harry and the Hendersons. Whoa.
No way.
Whoa. Do you know what this is?
I know that I've seen this movie.
You've seen this movie?
I've seen this movie. I don't remember where I was.
Oh.
I don't remember who I saw it with.
What's it about?
Bigfoot. It's about a family that goes camping and
okay.
they find a Bigfoot, a Yeti.
Okay.
Are they the same thing? I think that's the same thing.
We'll get into that.
And I have no doubt. And they befriend it.
Ah, okay.
And the end shot of the movie is clear in my mind.
Wow.
I
think
know.
you might remember this better than I do.
So you've seen it too.
I saw it when it came out, probably ish. So I was very young when I saw this, yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Wow. Okay.
So you vetted it for the kids? Because sometimes you remember a movie differently.
Oh, no, I did. I vetted it for the kids.
Awesome.
Yeah,
oh, yay.
Totally.
Oh, this is so fun.
I know. Well, this is part of the magic and the mystery of trying to find films that you haven't seen without actually talking to you about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're not episode 40 something, so I'm doing pretty good on the average, I think.
Oh, yeah, totally. How would you have known that I don't talk about this movie a lot?
You have never talked about this movie. That is very true.
Which is weird because I actually do think about it quite often. Yes.
Who's in this movie?
I have no idea.
No?
No.
You don't know?
And I remember the person in the Yeti suit.
Uh-huh.
I think it's kind of campy.
Is it?
Do you remember that?
I'm not, I'm going to remain mum about this because I remember quite a bit about it and I, read the synopsis. So I'm kind of tainted for thoughts. So you think it's about a Yeti or a Bigfoot.
Right.
That is befriended, you said, correct?
Yeah. A family finds it in the woods.
Okay. Any other details about the story, plot, or thoughts in general about Bigfoot before we get in?
Is Bigfoot real?
Is Bigfoot real?
I went through a phase when I was a kid where I was convinced that
What North American child has not gone through that phase?
I know.
That is our kids are going to be wondering that in a few moments. All right. So what's your movie poster look like for this one in your tagline? You already kind of have an idea, but let's just do it anyway.
It's kind of there's a picture of a Yeti in a kitchen in a cabin making a mess.
Okay.
And the family's outside peeking in.
Yeah.
And it says something like, guess who came camping?
Wait, is that what you actually think the poster was? Or is that what you're...
That's my mind.
That's your mind.
That's just off the top of my head.
I was like, we're going to have a really good comparison of your memory here, if that's what you were remembering.
Yeah.
Right.
I won't spoil the ending and what I remember about it.
I appreciate
but I will
that
tell
because
you,
I don't remember the ending.
Okay, I will tell you if it is what I remember.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
do you want me to walk away and you could tell No, let's go check it out.
Okay, let's go.
For ages, he has hidden in the forest, eluded hunters, baffled scientists, and remained a mystery. Until the Hendersons bumped into him.
What is it?
It's a major discovery. We have to take it home.
George. It's alive!
It's eating my 15th birthday corsage.
Uh-oh.
George, he's coming back!
Stall him!
I can't! How?
Show him I'm the pasta maker.
This is our home. Our stuff.
Oh, sit. Exercise, Irene.
This is it. The whole world's gonna know. It ran away.
I gotta find him. I'm going to kill him. He means something to me. Can't you see that? He means something to me.
We'll never see him again, will we?
What I'm going to say now might save his life. There has been yet another sighting of the creature that some people are now calling
Harry.
Harry?
Since when does he have a name?
Since right now.
The average American family just got bigger. Harry and the Hendersons.
Isn't he something?
Well,
That was so good. That was so fun to watch again. What about you?
I am shocked at how much I enjoyed that, watching that as an adult. I literally have not seen that movie since probably in the 80s. Like, I probably have not seen it since.
Do you think you saw that movie in the theater, or did you see it at home with the fam?
I probably saw it at home. It probably came on HBO, home box office for those who didn't, anyway. It became Max recently, which I'm irked about. But anyway, HBO.
That's
I
what
saw
HBO
it.
stands for?
Home box office. You didn't know that?
No. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
There was this whole, when personal movies like VHS, Betamax, Laserdiscs, all that stuff kind of coalesced, and then cable television came into the mix. You could have a home box office. It was like having it in your room, in your house.
So quaint.
I know, which is why I love the history too. So I did not like the rebranding of HBO streaming to Max. Sorry, HBO Max. I mean Max, but that's my opinion.
Max and Jinx, not friends.
Not friends forever. No.
Okay, so
Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, you enjoyed it though as an adult. You had a good time.
Oh, like first off, the Bigfoot, Harry, the creature effects on him hold up so well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is like classic, awesome 80s, like good puppetry / creature effects.
Yeah.
I remember being blown away by it as a kid. Like, you just think he's real. There's very few scenes where you don't. And it was just really good. And as an adult, it totally held up. Like, they had the eyes. They nailed the eyes, like the emotion in his eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, it won the Oscar for Best Makeup that year. So
it should have.
Well
it was
deserved.
well deserved.
Yeah.
Harry and the Hendersons, Oscar-winning film.
I haven't fact checked
Wow.
that yet. Maybe I should do that.
You might want to, but I want to believe it either way, honestly. Wow, that's great. So you had seen this. So
Yes, I only
what did you
remembered.
remember? Yeah.
Yeah, I only remembered that awesome end scene, which I remembered differently.
Yeah.
There's
What did
only-
you think it was? Yeah.
There's only 2 or 3 in the end
Hmm.
of like
I think there's 3
they're
besides
saying
him.
they're saying goodbye to Harry.
Yeah.
And he walks off, and then all of a sudden you see that there were other Bigfoot standing there quietly in the shadows, totally hidden. And then they step out and they follow Harry, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Oh
And
yeah.
when I was a kid, I remember it being like more,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe 30 Bigfoots
30.
following him up the
Okay.
mountain, but it was only like 3.
Wow.
Still impressive.
It's
And-
still very impressive. First off, you just said in the shadows. They weren't really in the shadows. We didn't do a rewatch. Did we do a rewatch? I don't remember. They were
did.
like in plain sight. It's just the way that the shot was composed. They just blended in. It was really neat.
It was really cool.
I liked it a lot. Anyway, okay. So amazing movie. Totally holds up. Great to watch with kids. Go ahead.
Also John Lithgow.
Oh my
my
God.
goodness, don't you love him? I love him.
I do love John Lithgow. You've not seen Ricochet, have you?
No.
That's going to go on the list. Like,
Okay.
that's one of my favorite John Lithgow performances.
Oh, cool.
And he's got such a great range.
Yeah.
He can play dramatic and comedic. He's just a great actor. You really bought the like troubled, turmoiled like kid inside that was a hard part to do and not have it be ridiculous.
Yes.
Because, like, you have a
Right.
grown adult man in the 80s, which, feelings weren't really big in the 80s for men, having to, like, play that and get in touch with his younger self and all the repressed issues he had with his dad and, like, all that stuff. It was just... Otherwise, you're like, why is this guy so emotionally invested in this creature? Because even then, it's riding a line. You're like, really? He's going to do all these things? He's this... Like, he was, like, emotionally connected to Harry.
Well, yes, he was.
Yeah, he was.
He was like his little boy, but he took a little bit longer to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But he made this connection with Bigfoot and...
Wow. Well, we should probably summarize the movie. We've been gushing too much. Let's do a quick summary.
Okay, so a family from Seattle, mom, dad, and 2 kids,
Mm-hmm.
a teenage daughter, and then like a 7 or 9-year-old boy.
Yeah.
They're camping,
Mm-hmm.
and it's established, that they hunt, and the dad is also, he's a hunter, but he also is an artist. He draws, like, it's all kind of like sprinkled in there in the beginning.
Yeah.
On their way home from this camping trip, they hit something in the road with their awesome station wagon.
It's an amazing station wagon.
Beautiful.
It's wonderful.
Wish
Wood
we had
paneling on the sides, if I remember right.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Yep, the back door that opens up like a
opens
door.
all the way up like a door.
Mhm.
It's so great.
Yeah.
So many kids in the 80s rode in the back of those, the very back, without seatbelts. Yeah, good times.
So they were not wearing seatbelts either.
No
one was hurt. They weren't going super fast because
Mhm.
they're leaving the mountains. They hit this big thing. It's furry. They think they kill it.
Yep.
And they put it on top of the car because who knows what this is? This
Well,
is really cool.
They think it's something strange, which is why they take it with them. It's not
Yeah.
like they just find roadkill and want to bring it home. They see it has opposable thumbs and they're like fascinated. They think
They
they
see
can
the
make money
hand.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they put it on the car.
Yeah.
They put a tarp over it, bring it home.
Yep.
And actually, it's really funny because Harry comes alive, like he comes to again
A couple times.
and screams, and then they slam on the brakes and
Yeah.
he shoots off again, and then
Yeah.
they do the whole thing over again. They bring him home, put him in the garage, and then I think it's early the next morning, they put him in the garage thinking he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And the next morning, he's very much alive and like looking around their house. He like knocks over the fridge and he's looking for food.
Yeah.
He eats plants.
He does.
He's a vegetarian.
He's vegetarian.
Yeah. So he's like eating their plants and just going crazy. And he sees a deer head mounted on the wall.
Yes.
And he's sad about this. And he takes it out in the back and he buries it.
Yes. He buries anything he finds. He finds a mink, like a fur mink neck thing, and he just buries everything.
So
Yeah.
there's like all this like physical comedy of him
Mhm.
like just going crazy around the house.
Yeah.
But they start to like kind of get to know him like
Mhm.
you would any animal that's in your home. And of course the boy right away is like, this is great, I love this guy. And the daughter is like, oh, he's awful and really smelly. Get him out of here.
Yeah, she was definitely not on board at first. True.
But they kind of get to know him and see that he's very capable of emotions. Like he has a lot more intelligence than they thought.
Yeah.
And that's where John really starts to connect with him and like want to protect him.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, there's a big game hunter who has been hunting Bigfoot his whole life and like having all of these near misses.
Mm-hmm.
And he finds the license plate. He gets on the trail.
I'm laughing because our kids loved his accent. I think he's supposed to be like a
French.
Vancouver, like British, French Canadian maybe.
Okay.
And he had a French accent, and the girls were just enamored with his accent. They loved it.
Oh, why wouldn't you be?
I know.
A French accent
Yes.
is lovely, no
It
matter
is.
if
It
you're
is.
the bad guy or not.
Yeah. So the poacher or hunter, whatever we want to call him.
Yeah, so he's tracking Harry,
Mm-hmm.
and then we learn that like John Lithgow, he works at his dad's gun shop,
Mm-hmm.
and so then the whole town hears about Bigfoot, and everyone goes crazy for finding him.
Totally.
And Bigfoot runs away. Why does he run away?
John scares him away, right?
They try to like take him back to the forest and try to lure him into the car.
They tried to get him in the car, and then he ran away. Yeah.
Yeah. So then John has to go find him.
Yep.
Before any of the hunters do, because all of a sudden the town is like filled with hunters.
Well, they just keep spotting them too, and it's like the masses now have guns, and
Yeah.
everybody's like, shoot first, ask questions later.
And then he ends up finding him, They reunite. It's really sweet, and they bring him out to the woods. But there's like a final showdown in the woods too.
Yeah.
At first, they're like, "Get out of here, Harry!" And they have to do that thing where you're like, "Go! You're not wanted anymore." Harry just goes and like waits in a tree, and then the hunter comes up, and he like takes the hunter out by jumping down on him.
I think he hugs him. Yeah, he like hugs him. And
and then the hunter sees that he's like intelligent, and he's like, "Well, I can't kill this guy either."
Yeah,
and it's really cool.
Harry's a lot like Gandhi, really. Like
Everyone...
he's a pacifist. Yeah.
Was Gandhi vegetarian?
I think he was, but don't quote me on that.
So anyway, then at the end,
Gandhi did have one day a week, though he didn't talk.
Oh.
So Harry and Gandhi connections abound.
Boom.
Boom.
But at the end, Harry says, "Okay."
He does.
That also, when I was a kid, was like, what?
Yeah.
He can talk? Oh my gosh.
I don't think like the idea of how big he is, getting back to the makeup and stature of him, like John Lithgow is like 6'4". He's a tall guy.
Yeah.
And Kevin Peter Hall is also tall. He's the one who played Harry. Also played the Predator. You may have recognized him from an earlier film.
Man, I was going to tell you that. You got to the fact first. But
I sure did.
I was looking him up because I was thinking of tall actors.
Yep.
And Peter Mayhew?
Do you think it was going to be Chewbacca?
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I was really thinking that. And then I was like,
I bet
no.
there was fierce competition. I'd love to see the tryouts, like the audition tapes between those two.
So he was 7 feet 2 inches tall. And so he made John Lithgow feel like a little guy.
Yeah. Well, when he put the gear on, he was like 8 feet tall.
Man.
So that's just wild. Think about how big that is. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really worked, though, in the role and in the part. Yeah. Wow. So the movie ends, you're feeling very good. And then you have the big zazz, you're surprised at the end. And then you want to save the nature. You want to save the nature because it's the 80s and people don't care about the nature.
But I do.
But I do.
Now I do.
And the seed has grown. It has grown, much like Harry. Part of the Harry was so impressive, like the effects and stuff. They actually didn't release any publicity photos at all. And if you look at the poster of the movie, you don't see him. You just see his hands, if I recall correctly, because they wanted to like keep that ace in the hole. Yeah, I'm sure that created a lot of buzz once people saw it. Because I mean, it's 2023, and we're like, that was amazing. Can you imagine in 1987 seeing that?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you recall what Bigfoot was like in the 80s, like the idea of Bigfoot, but it was very much, I wouldn't say it's as crazy as how aliens are right now, but it was like a step down. Like there, you would see unsolved mysteries. There'd be Bigfoot things on there frequently.
Of course I remember.
Yes.
I was watching Unsolved Mysteries, being scared out of my mind.
Me too.
And those episodes especially really freaked me out because they had, like, I don't know when that video came out. You know, the video.
Yeah, the video.
The
That's
Bigfoot video.
I think it's from the 60s, if I remember right.
Okay.
But, yeah,
well, anything
60s.
that was like video that had like a video of a Bigfoot
walking and he turns and looks at you. Yeah.
Yeah. Freaky.
Yeah. Robert Stack's voice is the voice of my nightmares.
Indeed.
His like introduction and the in the beginning for Unsolved Mysteries. Oh my goodness.
I was watching that. You know, that was at a time when like you had to watch what your parents watched.
Yeah.
So my dad was watching it.
Yeah.
And after the show was done, it would be my bedtime and I'd have to go upstairs. I was the only one upstairs in the dark. Make sure you turn off all the lights before you go to bed. Scary. Even
worse, I was home alone by myself and it would come on when sunset would be halfway through the movie or through the show. So it would be like, tonight we're going to talk about murderers, people who are missing, thieves, Bigfoot, and aliens that take people.
And then they're all still loose.
And I'm sitting in a chair, and because it's light, there's no lights on in the house. And then slowly, as I'm enveloped in the show, it just gets darker. And by the end of the show, I'm in a room of complete darkness.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, good stuff. So I'm assuming this movie was one that resounded well as a child. Do you think it felt the same as an adult? Or did you have a different experience like I did?
Oh, I had a lot of fun watching it as an adult. Definitely. Nice. Especially, with, because it does, the effects hold up so well. So absolutely, I had fun watching it as an adult.
Nice.
So walking back a little bit to
Please walk
the
me back.
makeup.
Yes.
The makeup artist. The guy who did the artist.
Rick Baker, yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you going to know the facts that I'm going to?
I don't know. Let's see.
Okay. He did some makeup for some other things.
Yep.
And I was going to give you some musical clues and see if you could
please.
guess.
I don't know. I'm not an encyclopedia. Please quiz me.
Okay. So he did makeup for, I'm going to see if I can do the music for it. Oh, shoot.
I don't know that one.
Wait, hold on. No, I'm not. I don't know how the song goes.
That's Star Wars.
Yes, that's Star Wars. Oh my gosh.
A New Hope. Yeah.
Cantina.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did the makeup for all of the
all the
people
aliens
in the
in there?
cantina. Yeah.
Nice.
The aliens. Okay. Good job.
Thank you.
He also
Keep going.
did the makeup for
Thriller.
Thriller. Yeah. He did Michael Jackson's makeup for Thriller.
Nice.
Okay, last one. There's no music for this one that I know of, but
So many werewolf movies. The Howling.
An American Werewolf.
American Werewolf in London.
In London.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did
That should be the
makeup
first werewolf movie I think of. I'm a little ashamed of myself, but yeah.
I won't shame
You were literally howling, and I said the first famous werewolf movie that has howling in the title. Did you just do that song thing because you were jealous that I sang during the Newsies podcast?
Oh, yeah. I need to get my music cred out there.
That's fair. Rick said that this, at one point, he said this was his favorite like creature effects he did too, which is
cool.
saying a lot. He
Yeah.
did a lot of stuff.
I heard that the whole them keeping it a secret. I read that the
Right.
whole keeping it a secret thing and not showing anything about Harry before the film released kind of backfired. And so they didn't get the box office returns that they were looking for. But live and learn. It
Hit or
worked for
miss.
Grogu.
It sure did. They were ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Wow. So factoids aside, like what was your favorite part of the movie?
I have a couple favorite parts.
Bring it.
I loved how John Lithgow just fell in love with Harry. It was like a bromance.
It was definitely a bromance.
That was really sweet. And it's because John Lithgow was so good at being like earnest and sincere. It was just a very sweet like thing to watch.
Not even kidding.
What?
I kind of want to rewatch it now, knowing the plot, and just focus on John Lithgow and how he progresses. Like, I guarantee you there's like subtle things he does in the beginning.
Yeah. And
it kind of like goes through. Like, but when you're not thinking about it, anyway, that's the film nerd in me. But go ahead.
I really liked how the significance of how they kept burying the taxidermy.
Yeah.
And at the end, they have like this guy over who's like a true believer.
Yeah, he's
a professor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they wanted him to like see Harry. So they invite him over and they're sitting down to dinner and they were like, "Oh, my wife made this nice roast. Oh, where's the roast, honey?" And she says something like, "The roast is buried in a shallow, unmarked grave in the backyard."
Yeah.
And I just love that. And at the end, they buried all the taxidermy.
That was really sweet.
Yeah.
I liked the part a lot where where he was over for dinner and then he's trying to warn them away from a life of heartache and tears because you're never going to find this thing. And it's a classic gag. Like Harry's like right next to him, just behind him, but then he turns. It's just fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you have another one you want to mention?
I also liked the part where, so in the beginning, when Bigfoot Harry's like kind of, he's just angry and frustrated because people the Hendersons are yelling at him and it's like the early morning. He's knocked over the fridge and he's hungry and he found a corsage, the teenage daughter's corsage
that she saved up for 4 months or something. She said
she starts yelling at him and she's like, "I saved up for this and I planned to like dry it and keep it for the rest of my life."
Yes.
Did you do that when you were a kid? Is that a thing?
The only thing I can think of is like, I probably still have when I went to like prom and there was a flower. Like that's, you take it and you put it somewhere as a memory. Like I think I have that somewhere in our home. In a box somewhere.
Why am I not surprised?
Yes, I hold on to things sometimes. But that's totally like I see that in movies too. People who had like a flower from a summer they remembered, or
That's
like
true.
a wedding day or something like that.
Okay.
But anyway, that's my reference to it. That's what I take away from that.
Well-
Seems foreign to you though, which is fine.
Yeah, I like saving flowers. A corsage. That was just, yeah. I don't know that people do corsages anymore. Maybe when our kids go to prom, I'll figure this
I
out.
think they still do. I
Wow.
think that's still a thing.
Oh, cool.
Otherwise, why do we have flower shops?
Well, I don't know. So we can feed the Bigfoots.
Yeah, that too.
So he eats her corsage, and then
Mhm.
she's really mad at him. But at
Yeah.
the end, before he leaves, he goes to the neighbor's yard and picks
Yeah.
all of these roses, and he comes and like gives her this armful of roses to
Yeah.
apologize, and then they're cool.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah, it was nice. He's very thoughtful. Harry's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
I I really liked all the gags, of course, like where he's just trying to figure out technology. Like you mentioned the deer, and he like literally looks on the other side of the wall to look for the rest of the body, and then he shoves his arm through it. Probably my favorite gag though, and it's probably my favorite part of the movie because I've literally done it before, especially after seeing this. I'm going to do it again, but he just screams like an ambulance. When they're on the highway and there's like traffic, he just screams. It just makes me laugh. It's just stupid. I love it.
I saw this like making of video
Yeah.
online about that scene.
Mm-hmm.
And so like they were filming that.
Mhm.
And there were other people like just really driving on the highway. Like
Yeah.
that was like there was some real humans that
Yeah,
were not extras.
sure. Mhm.
And they were interviewing them like on what, because they were trying to see what was in the scene that was being filmed.
Oh yeah.
And so they were like curious about like what they, you know, interviewing him. And one woman was like, "Oh, what I saw was so cute." And then another person was like, "I just saw enormous teeth."
Ooh.
It's kind of cool. Must have been exciting to see when you were.
I can imagine too, and like again, contextually, in the 1980s, your news is coming from like the evening news or a
Mm-hmm.
newspaper or hearsay from other people. Like that's it. There's no other evidence, or that's how you got your data and your information. I saw a short video about credit cards at Burger King when in like 1993 or something like that is when they first started using credit cards, and they were interviewing people about what they thought about it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Some people were very curmudgeon. I don't understand why you get that for this. I hope it doesn't take longer to get my Whopper. I need my Whopper fast.
That's why you're there.
It's why you're there.
Fast.
You need your Whopper fast. So if you could be a mythical creature in a film that gets adopted by a family, what would you be?
Whoa, that is really tough.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness, so many things come to mind. Unicorn.
Yeah. Unicorns are meaner than you think, but yeah.
Well, I can be mean.
No, I know you can. I don't mean mean. I mean powerful.
Yeah.
People think of them as cutesy icons now, but anyway, keep going.
I mean, they're horses. Horses are
They're
powerful.
horses with spears on their heads.
Fairies comes to mind.
You want to be a fairy? Okay.
I've always wanted to be a fairy. I am actually part fairy, obviously.
That's true. I remember.
And then also, what's the one, Mr. Tumnus? Fawn?
Oh, a fawn?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know which one of those I would pick, but there's so many choices. What about you? Do you have something in mind?
No hesitation.
Minotaur.
Medusa.
Medusa.
I want someone to deal with the fact that having me around would turn everybody to stone and have it be a family comedy.
I immediately flashed to Clash of the Titans.
Yes.
That scene. Oh
Yes,
my gosh,
yes.
so good. You do have like the hair for it.
I do have the hair for Medusa. That's true.
Could you just be that for Halloween anyway?
I could, if you want. It's a lot of crawling, though. Like, I'd have to have a sleeping bag for my bottom half, and then I'd just crawl around all night with a bow and arrow. That might not be the most effective way to get candy.
And also Medusa is a female. We need you're like Medusa.
Obviously, I'm going to be Mandusa.
Medusa.
Mandusa. Come on.
Okay.
Were you going to say something? Because I got more.
Keep going.
All right.
Keep
So, what, if any, messages do you think were in this film?
All life is precious.
Oh my goodness. Did you just quote?
Walking Dead.
Yes. Walking Dead. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was very much like, don't take from the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Respect like the life and rights of animals and creatures.
Circle of life.
which I think is a beautiful thing. Did you get another message from this?
I think that's part of the message, but I think like a layer deeper than that
Do it.
is just being true to yourself and your nature. That's what the John Lithgow character was doing. I keep saying the John Lithgow character because I love saying John Lithgow as a name.
Mr. Henderson.
Mr. Henderson. It was as much like him being comfortable with who he was and what he actually liked to do versus living in the world and how people told him to be. And Harry was very much about just his nature was to be, you know, respectful of nature, respectful of other animals, kind, caring, like he was living his nature. And like Mr. Henderson was learning that from him, like just being true to your own nature and who you are.
And he finally showed his dad his drawings and his dad altered it.
He did. And that really upset him. He threw like I wouldn't say a teenage like fit. He threw a tween fit, I think, when his dad did that to the picture.
Yeah. But it wasn't silly.
No, it
He's
was
so
like
good. It was like real.
But that's what I mean. Like, but the emotion you saw coming out of him and the things he said, it looked like you were looking at like a young person. Just the emotional reaction he had to it, which juxtaposed with John Lithgow, which he was probably in his 30s when he did this, but you know, he has a receding hairline and he just looked, you know, middle-aged man.
He's perfect.
He is perfect, just the way he is.
Exactly.
Just be true to yourself, John.
And be an artist.
And be an artist. Wow. Anything else about this one you want to bring up?
The kids loved it.
I was just going to say, like, the kiddos, oh my goodness. Sometimes showing these movies to our kids is like a minefield.
They really wanted to watch Elemental.
They really wanted to watch Elemental. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to watch one of your old movies.
Yeah. Why do we got to watch the old ones? There's a podcast movie. Oh.
And then within the first 20 seconds, one of them was shouting, I love this. This is amazing.
Yes.
Because it's, you know, him walking through the
nature.
forest.
They're beautiful nature shots. Yes.
It was filmed in Seattle and all around Seattle.
Yeah. What did you learn about? Weren't you just reading an article about Seattle? Like they were reviewing this movie, like recently.
In 2021, this Arts and Culture magazine did a story about Harry and the Hendersons, and the cool thing about what they mention is, it was filmed. I haven't fact checked this, but I imagine they did back when Starbucks only had 17 stores.
Wow.
Microsoft was on its second version of Windows, and Jeff Bezos was a recent Princeton grad.
That is a whole nother world right there.
I know.
That gives you some perspective. I bet those 17 stores were probably all in Seattle too.
Yeah. So they're kind of like, is this really a Seattle movie? That's kind of like what the article's asking. I
mean, it takes place in the city of Seattle, but come on.
Yeah. Anyway, no, it's a nice article, and it was fun to read. I don't know why they did it in 2021. Was there an anniversary? Maybe
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to rebrand their image or something.
Maybe.
Or maybe they were trying to align it with like Windows 11 coming out. Who knows?
Well, for this, I'd love to go. It made me want to go to Seattle.
This movie, like seeing the nature that's around Seattle, makes me want to go to Seattle more than Seattle itself, honestly. Like the mountains were just beautiful. Like, and I assume they were filmed in those mountains, and it's not an okie doke where they just filmed it in California now.
Yeah, I think. No, it wasn't filmed in California or Vancouver. It was filmed in and around Seattle. Yeah. And in the woods. And there's another website where you can actually like find all the locations.
Oh, I love it when that happens.
Go see where it was filmed and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go to Seattle and do some camping.
That sounds wonderful. And hopefully we can rent an old station wagon.
Yes.
And I'll probably still want to wear seatbelts though, if I'm being honest.
Sounds good.
And then, I want to make sure we also get a tent that takes at least 4 hours to put up. None of this really quick PVC, like those little like bars you have in the new ones. No, none of that. I need one that takes a good half day to put up.
All right. I'll send you ahead of me to set up the tent.
It has to be pouring rain too. Otherwise, and Seattle, we're good for that.
That was our camping trip this summer.
That's actually true. All right. Well,
this was fun.
This was very nice. Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Hendersons and John Lithgow.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.